Hail, hail, and welcome to Celtic World North America. We are part of Celtic World YouTube channel, which has a series of podcasts that highlights the worldwide Celtic support. And on our show, we try to give a bit of a North American perspective on things. As always, it's been another insanely busy week. We had 3 games in 6 days. Started off with a win away in Europe, which by now is almost forgotten in my head. so I think we'll barely touch on that one tonight. The derby was a big one, of course, and it was a tale of 2 halves and had loads of talking points. In the end, a draw felt like a win and kept us in the running. So then today we could get a big 3 points at Pittodrie and move ahead of the Huns. So it's been nothing easy for us all season, and there'll probably be nothing easy until the very end. So strap in and make sure you're not skipping any of your heart medication. I know I will be telling my doctor to up my dosage these last 10 games. Without further ado, let's jump into introducing our panel tonight. First things first, Chris, how we doing?
Hell, I'm doing all right. Just edge of your seat, CSC.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah. Did you get to watch live today?
I did. I was split screen. That kind of unproductive at work for that little bit, but it is what it is. But we move on.
Yeah. Same thing for me. I was split screening it, and I mean barely getting any work done as always on these midweek Celtic games. But next up, Bobby from Columbus joining us again. We just saw Bobby a few weeks ago in Philly. Bobby, welcome back.
How you doing?
Good to have you on, as always. And last but not least, joining us for the first time, Paul Devlin from Dallas, the Lone Star CSC. Welcome, Paul. It's good to have you on.
Thank you. I watched it in full screen and it wasn't any better.
I watched the first half on my lunch break, actually. So I did actually take a break for that on my big TV. Then I watched the second half on my phone, and didn't get much better on the phone after a 1-1 at halftime. But we'll jump into that in a little bit. But first things first, we always do with our first-time guests, Paul. Basically, we try to get what your Celtic origin story is, and we all have different ones. People born in Scotland, had it handed down from your family to like me and Chris kind of discovered it later in life. Bobby, you probably had it earlier than us, but Paul, how did you get started following Celtic?
Like so many in Glasgow, it was definitely a generational thing. So I also, as a Celtic supporter, I'm one of the unique ones. I was born in 1967. So as a result, we're reminded every year and every special year how old we're actually getting. So every time a commemorative jersey comes out, we're reminded how old we are. So I was born in July 67, July 3rd. So I was born just after, about 5 weeks after we became European champions, which is kind of cool. But my first game, apparently, which I don't remember, the very first game I was taken to was the League Cup final, Celtic Hibs 1974 6-3 game. I don't remember it, but I do remember the Scottish Cup final in 1975, which was Billy McNeil's last game. And that was Celtic Airdrie that Celtic won 3-1. So that's the first game that I actually remember, Scottish Cup final. And Dad was a fan, grandfather was a fan, great-grandfather, etc. Dad was even a ball boy back in the 40s, and then he got me in as a ball boy later on in the 1980s. So I kind of worked for Celtic, supported Celtic, and just more a family situation more so than anything else. And on this great day, my hero growing up before Henrik Larsson was, of course, King Kenny. And it's a special day today because it's King Kenny's 75th birthday today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pretty special. So we got to meet him, of course, didn't we, Sean, a few years ago at the New York event when he was guest of honor. And they always say, don't meet your heroes, but he's one guy that when you do meet him, you're even more in awe of him than you were before, because he's such a humble, nice person. So happy birthday, King Kenny.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Here. In terms of like bring it over to the American side of things, how long have you been over in the States?
Full time since 1991. So going on, what is that now? 35 years? Yeah. Youngest daughter's 33. I got them both involved in Celtic when they were little and sponsored their teams, and they all got to wear Celtic strips when they were growing up, and then they went on and did well and played football in college and stuff like that. So they definitely they grew up in the Henrik Larsson era and the original Martin O'Neill time. So they were kind of spoiled too. Or what's that phrase they have now? Entitled, right? They were they were truly entitled. What a time that was. So yeah, they were. I kind of passed it on. I passed it on from there. But when I first came over to the States at that time, in fact, I consider myself quite lucky, because if you do the timelines, I left just when all the Lou Macquarries and the Liam Brady's and all the Celtic began sort of falling apart in the mid-90s. And a certain other team that we won't mention was dominating. I missed all that. We had no internet. The only thing we had was the Celtic View, the newspaper. So you would get a Celtic View about a week after the results. And that was the only way you kind of kept up with everything. So it sounds like a dinosaur now, doesn't it? The way you talk about it.
Yeah.
But, that's the way it was. That was even before the famous Setanta came along and enlightened us all, right? And we had, so growing up when I moved to deepest, darkest Missouri. So there was definitely no Celtic supporters clubs there. And so, it was just this Celtic View that came through the letterbox every week or so. So that's kind of where it came from there. And through the years, of course, we've become more connected, and the clubs have continued to grow. You got to go to different clubs. I remember going to see Celtic play. What year was that? When they did an American tour and they played in Tampa. And that was when they played. That was when what was the guy with the big hair from Colombia was playing? Valderrama. When they played, when Valderrama played against them, and this was at some rickety little stadium in Tampa. And there was a great Irish pub there called the Four Green Fields. That was a thatched roof cottage in Tampa, and all the Celtic supporters just descended on this place. I think they're all based in Orlando, and they all came down to Tampa. My oldest daughter, I should say, came with me for that, and that was brilliant. So, as much as possible, of course, over here and get back a lot and see games. But that's really, I'd say I feel a bit of a veteran now, having been over here a lot of years. But you don't lose it, and going to having this network now and having the technology the way we do now to remain connected and have all the pubs and all the clubs and all the support that everyone has over here and around the world is just amazing and pretty impressive. And to have folks like yourself who again come to Celtic late on is even more wonderful. So it's great.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant. I mean, you're dead on about like the technology, and that's kind of probably how we all initially interacted. Probably all four of us even. Like I met Paul for the first time in New York doing one of the Celtic Foundation walks through Manhattan, but like we had been probably in touch on social media, just like talking about games and shit like that. So like, and it is a good way to bring us all together. And like you said, I can't imagine what it was like back in the day, especially if you're a diehard over here trying to follow Celtic and you have to wait for a newspaper to come out.
Sean, I remember growing up. There was a social club. It's called the Irish American Social Club. It was in Kearney, and that was the original. Kearney's like the mother club, so Kearney's like where it all started at. And you would have like the cup final, and then a week later, someone would mail over a VCR tape, and then everyone would get together and watch the game. But you would get them on VCR tapes. Someone would send them over until the early stages of Setanta. So I'm talking like the mid '80s, man. It was almost barbaric back then.
And you had to transfer the tape, didn't you? Unless
someone did all that. Yeah.
God, we're sounding like we're absolute.
And it would, and the quality was, even back then, it was horrible for the time.
And look how easy it is now.
If you know anything about it.
Yeah, we originally watched it in silent movies.
If you know anything about it. Yeah, if you know anything about it, those are always all done by the same dude. It was Archie McPherson?
Oh yes, yes, he's still around. Yeah.
It was the worst. But it was just, I mean, like you said, it's the only thing you had, so you took it.
Yeah.
You did.
Do what you have to do.
You did, yeah. But as I say, it wasn't a bad time to have left. I'll be honest with you, those years, because I kind of left and went, what has just happened here? And suddenly they had this decade of the club just in free fall. So yeah, and then everything recovered. As things do. But yeah, that was a wild time. But yeah, when I think back on it, like people would just. You'd be talking to your parents at home and they'd give you the score, or you'd do anything else. And, you didn't have, it was just like, you got the newspaper, my dad would like cut out all the newspapers and send over like this big batch of newspapers that would arrive about 10 days later. And it was like communist Russia, because he took all the pages and then he like edited them. Right, so it was like an Epstein redacted page, right? There were sections that he actually took out. And I don't know why, but clearly he didn't want me to read them. So you just got the pages that he wanted. So yeah, that was what we started with. So yeah, we're in a different world now.
Yeah, were you being led to believe that like Celtic was winning the league? All those
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah, he took lots of things out. He took lots of things out about how other teams were doing or whatever. And it's a bit like the Celtic board are today. There was only there was this much in the statement that came out of what actually was this much, right? So.
Well, we'll jump into the Aberdeen match today because I think it's fresh on our mind. So, but let me throw up some comments first, just from everybody out there. Plunge, he's always with us on Wednesday nights, and Peter from Nashville. We saw him a few weeks ago. Callum,
was he the guy selling the scarves?
Yeah, that's Peter. Yep. Good morning from Basra, Iraq. This would be an interesting one for us. And yeah, I wish Trump would stop firing missiles too. But and then Joseph, another guy who's always with us. So thank you all for getting into the comments. So again, like today, it's one of those midweek Celtic league games. This one was getting back that game in hand that we were supposed to play them about a month ago at Pittodrie, and the weather took care of that one. And the weather seems like it's always terrible up that way. So I'm going to throw up the lineup first, and then if I can get it to work. So I'll go to you, Chris, first. What's your thoughts when you saw the lineup today come out?
I'm beginning to think Martin O'Neill is looking for players that are hungry, players that want to go out and perform and wear fit the jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been enough that we've seen over let's just say the last 2 games before going into today at Stuttgart and at the weekend at Ibrox, that some of the players, Luke McCowan, for example, I thought Luke McCowan, when he played in Stuttgart, I thought he was great. That was a solid performance. So, putting players that are hungry and Araujo, you could make the case that Tonetke even, he's hungry. He seems like he's ambitious on the ball. Sometimes I think he's better off the bench than he is starting, but I feel like there's been a little bit of like a shakeup from Maeda, whoever else has been in those places. So I'm kind of excited about it a little bit, just because it shows that there is a little bit of hunger. So I was pleasantly surprised for the lineup today, to be honest.
Yeah, I was. You knew ahead of time that Sinisalo was going to start. I think, like Martin mentioned it yesterday, that whatever's going on with Casper, if he's sick or hurt or
depressed,
yeah, and pissed off that he didn't play, whatever it is.
Regardless, you can't go back. You can't go back.
Yeah, I think that's at this point. That feels like it's got to be. And Sinisalo looked good today, so I don't know. We'll see. But Bobby, how about you? Thoughts on the lineup? Any surprises?
No. I'm big guy. I can't pronounce his name. The German guy.
Big Tom.
Yeah, big fella. I had a lot of hope in him, and I don't know if that's there either. I'm right now. I just don't. I don't know. I don't see anything that inspires me. We do have fight, and I told you that, guys, before we went on. But I don't know. I just wish someone would grab it by the scruff, man. And I don't know. We have that player right now. You look up and down. I don't know. Yang. I don't know. Negrin. I don't know. Not inspired, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with the performances. It's been ugly all season and was more of the same today. But Paul, how about you? And then, I mean, there was the added twist of Dade Murray getting hurt in warmups, and then Benjamin Arthur coming in his place.
I thought Arthur did quite well. I really did. I watched the game. Attitude-wise, Araujo, I just love him. Love him, man. His defense at times, of course, is questionable, but what an attitude he has. He's comfortable on the ball. He's got that little bit of gallousness about him, which is cool. He really does. I think anytime you see the lineup now, whatever the last name is, that's AN other. That's the empty shirt, right? And that's right. That's
it. Really is.
It really is. There is whoever they put as the last name. That is the last name. Oh well, we need to make up 11. Who else can we put in there? That's it. Because whoever is in there is not doing anything. Tonetke. Interestingly, against Aberdeen tonight, every time you could tell they moved 2 over because they knew that they stopped him from trying to come right and come inside right. And also he's getting shoved off the ball way too for Scottish. He's not going to survive in Scottish football if he doesn't grow a shoulder. I mean, he's just not. He's just getting pushed aside. And there's just so many players when you're talking. Just so many players. I mean, there's Hatate. A week and a half ago, we would have said he was finished, and now he's had a couple of great games. Now, having said that, he hasn't hit the target since Ange was manager, but he's come back onto a game, and but there's not a consistency. But I think in watching some of the other shows immediately following the game, I think the only thing that's keeping us going right now is that champion sort of attitude of no, we're going to expect to win this game, because most of us don't know how they're winning the game. We don't know how they're winning. We just don't know. We come at the end of the game and go, did we win that game? How did we win that game? We don't know, right?
I think, Paul, if I could, just one of the things that bugs me is, you mentioned Hatate and then Maeda, is it's almost like a down tool. Okay, we're not getting the goals, but the work rate, I remember when they first came in, particularly Maeda, it's just the work rate, and I just don't see it anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a thing, and I think you see it more as the season's gone on. I thought Hatate put in some work today.
He did, yeah. I said I was going to say that. I think in today's game I watched him. There was even a 50-50 tackle, and there was a 50-50 tackle he actually stayed in for today, which in itself I can write that down on a list of times he's done that. So that was good.
Yeah. So and that's good to see, and that's a guy I think we need to, just because he's one of our only creative guys who can just move the ball around. But like you said, Paul, I do think he needs to be able to get some of those long range shots on goal, because we just struggle to create anything. And he had a couple versus the Huns over the weekend where he just fired it way over. But I think he's going to be a big part of the next however many games there's left. What is it, like 9 or 10 games?
It's and it's amazing that it's another super Swede that is saving Martin O'Neill this time around. I mean, Nygren's on to 19 goals now for the season. That's unbelievable from his perspective.
Yeah, for a midfield, definitely. So game starts off beautiful, another early goal, which helps, and from our goal scoring machine, Kieran Tierney, 2 games in a row. And it was off. It was a corner, and the guy who created the goal was Scales. A little bit of a mishit on the corner, I think, and goes short. And I think probably most guys in that position would try to flick it on with their head, but I think he realized that he had time to play it with his foot and just put it in the perfect spot. And Chris, can you take us through the first goal?
I mean, it was a thing of beauty, to be honest. I didn't like when it first happened. When I watched it in real time, it happened so fast I didn't see it. But once I saw the replay and I watched Scales kick it the way that he did, like you said, it was perfect. It was just boom, back of the net. And you were alluding there to getting an early goal. I thought an early goal tonight was actually the goal that won it, because after that happened, they continued to go forward. I felt like we were really aggressive in the first 15-20 minutes, really kind of putting them on the ball, and until they get their soft penalty, I thought we were kind of bossing it there at the very beginning, at least. You're muted, Sean.
I muted myself because I was coughing. It was Tierney put himself in a perfect spot. A couple of Aberdeen, I think Nisbet was in there, and they just shut down, I think. But I think it all came down to Scales, the way he attacked that ball and just put it in a perfect spot for Tierney to just fire it in the top of the net. And Mitov never had a chance. That early goal, and we have we got the early goal against Stuttgart last week, and there has been more of that. We could have used that on Sunday at Ibrox, and again this week, hopefully. But so then, like Chris, you said, the penalty happens. I didn't write what time it was down. was probably in the 25th, 30th minute around there.
Something like that.
Yeah. Paul, what was I guess thoughts on the penalty?
Never a penalty.
You think? I mean,
no, of course it would.
A lot of people don't think
soft. It was soft.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're on the other side, you can escape. The guy, you know, you could tell Scales was coming in behind him, and it was a little bit clumsy, and he certainly went for it, right? And you're gonna get that penalty all day long. Just the way he positioned himself to come in for it. So, but I do think it was, you know, it was soft, but from a Scales should be a little wiser. That's just my thinking. That was all. So not really much more to say. I'm too old to be getting outraged over these things.
I know.
You know, it's like it is what it is.
I bring like the referee perspective to it, so I always tend to get in arguments on because I can, like you said in this case, I can totally see why Walsh gave it, and then once he gave it, there's no way that they can overturn that from far because there was contact on the.
Yeah, I mean,
whether it's light or not, and it's.
It is. It's going to be given, and the guy was clever. The guy who he went into was clever. There wasn't really a lot of contact, but there didn't have to be the way he played it. So he was quite clever the way he did that. And again, just coming in from behind like that in the box, you just got to be in this day and age. You just got to be careful. And you
said wiser. You got to be wiser, better than that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so I know, like, so after Tierney scores in like 4th or 5th minute, whatever it was, at that point, I'm thinking, finally, this is going to be one of those games where it's 4-0. I can breathe and not like be having a high blood pressure the whole game. But then, so the penalty happens and Nisbet puts it away. I have no faith in any of our goalies ever saving a penalty, or our players scoring a penalty for that matter. But so then it's 1-1, and then you're like, fuck, here we go. It's like, I'm going to be edge of my seat the rest of the game. I guess, Bobby, what do you think? Like, what was your thoughts after Aberdeen equalized on the penalty?
Just
How
that.
was it gonna end up?
Yeah, one of you talk about like championship mentality, guys that have been there before, and I think with this team I think there's guys that have been there before and there's guys that haven't, and you're trying to figure out that mentality. And part of being, everyone here has watched Celtic enough to know that, like last year, there were games where we played terribly and got the 3 points. And you wonder when that goal goes in, is it, tails down or tails up? I wonder what was said at halftime by O'Neill. And so that I think that's the real struggle. I think it's great. We get that, Sean, you make a great point, is getting that first goal it's always important regardless. But when we're like fragile right now, we're really, really fragile. And we've actually, I think of the top three, we've given up the most goals. So when that goal goes in, that tying goal goes in, I didn't see a lot of heads up. I didn't see a lot of tails up where it was just, let's get on with it. Let's go get it. And I think there's a mentality. I don't know, man. That's the most important thing to me, I think, right now, just because we just don't have the talent. But we got the goal, though. So,
yeah. But yeah,
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think, was it Paul you said at the beginning, like champion? It's like that champion's mentality that is.
Yeah.
It's just an expectation. Yeah, it's just like, well, no, we're going to win this, and you don't really know how they're going to win it. I don't think they even know how they're going to win it. But amazingly, and here we are now. We're back up to second.
And you saw that. I tell you what you saw that when Ange was here at Celtic. You saw that mentality where it didn't matter. It was tails up. We're going back. We're ready. We'll go. We'll be fine. trust the process, we'll get it. And that's where I don't see it. You see it in spurts. You don't see it for 90 minutes.
It's just flat, and it's just flat because, it's such it just permeates through the club right now, just because there's a lack of direction as to where the club's going, as far as who's there isn't a permanent manager. This is only temporary. And so we go from game to game, and we're doing the best we can, and we're doing, based on everything that's happened. Martin O'Neill has certainly steadied the ship, and that's a pretty amazing thing. And the backroom staff, of course, who have done a really exceptional job. But so ultimately, if everything comes through and we come to May and we've suddenly won this thing, it will be an astonishing achievement.
Yeah.
It really will.
Yeah.
And as years go on, as seasons go, this will be up. This is definitely going to be up there.
Yeah, I think we will celebrate this one hard if it comes about. And we're still in there with a.
I don't think the same. I mean, as long as we're there, as long as we're there in the mix. I mean, there's one team that knows how to be champions in that mix right now. That's it. There's only one.
And when you think about it, like, where does the championship matter? Like, as much as McGregor takes, I think, and he hasn't been great this season, and he's taken a lot of heat. But like, is that where it comes from on the pitch? Him and like Scales, because like when you look at the side today, like, there's not a lot of guys who have been there when we won the championship, won the titles. I mean, Rio and Dyson have been there, but does it come from the guys like McGregor and Scales? And I mean, those two probably being more in the leadership kind of guys. Like, I don't know. Like, but there's something there, definitely, like, where it happens for us.
Yeah, you're right, and it is amazing. Like Jamesy Forrest, who, again, there were a few weeks going all the way back there where the people just thought he was paying a gym membership to Celtic, going back and a few weeks back. And now look at him, right? He comes on, he has a job to do for the 15, 20 minutes, the past two most important games, certainly so far. He's made an incredible contribution that leads to the winning goal. He still knows how to get to he can still get to a byline and make a cross. That's at his age, which is remarkable. Yeah. So he's still got it, right? He knows. I mean, what was it today? I can't remember what they said. They said come up with a number. It was number of games he was at today. It was something ridiculous.
Oh, it was like 550 or something.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal, right? And but he makes that difference in that little spell. And then now it's just the pattern seems to be, okay, whatever this famous starting 11, okay, starting 10 with empty shirt for 60 minutes, keep it close. And then we'll make a change at 60 minutes and then we'll go and win the game. And that seems to be the tactics.
It's the formula. Yeah.
And it's different. It's a different change every time. Like,
it's a different change.
Like when you look at the lineup, and I saw a lot when Tanecki was in the lineup to start today, like there are a lot of times where he does seem to be more effective in like coming on at that 60 minutes and being able to run at guys who might be a little more tired at that point and having more success. And he isn't as, like, he played 90 minutes today, and you can't really think of a ton of times where he beat his man or where he's usually like he's got that good dribble and great feet that he can beat guys almost all the time.
No, they were Aberdeen were pulling two players over to his right every time.
Definitely.
And so he had to go left. And when he goes left, he gets muscled out.
Yep.
He gets muscled out every time. And so he just gets nullified.
You could say the same thing about Big Tom. Tanecki up front, or however you say his last name, Big Tom. Shankara. Anyway, he falls down way too easy to be a man that size, right? Like he has a big frame to him but he goes down over the easiest of challenges. And Paul even said it earlier that, we go down too soft in Scotland. Scotland's a tough place to go and play because it's a physical game. Mm-hmm. And people that fall down don't do well. If you can't keep your strength and keep control of the ball at the same time.
Austin Trusty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And that's just what Stephen here says. Ben Arthur is a big unit.
Yeah, big. Yeah. I thought Ben Arthur was solid. I mean, he's a young kid, but today he's certainly a big unit. There's no question about that. And I thought he put himself about. And that's what that O'Neill's teams of days gone by.
Yeah.
We're always
big in the spine.
Oh, they were always solid units.
Always big in the spine.
Did you hear his comment after the weekend game, after that little, shall we call it, fracas that he got involved in? Where he was like, oh, no, basically he said, they're all a bunch of pussies. He's thinking of Big Bobo Baldy and everyone else some days gone by that would have taken everyone out. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, we're not that team right now. And
no, we're not.
Not even close. And we just get bullied all over the place. But so it's good to see him. Like when you see him out there and like, hey, he's a big dude. And he for a guy has hardly played any games professionally at all, and then only played 10-15 minutes against Hibs last week, or probably a week and a half ago, and then put 90 minutes. He was solid. Nothing. I think he just played it simple. Didn't take a lot of chances, and won a lot of headers, and he looked pretty comfortable on the ball. How old is he? Is he 21, 22? 21, I think he's 21, yeah. So, yeah, I was pretty pleased with his performance. But so then, moving ahead to the second half, I felt like Aberdeen started really strong in the second half, and I was like, fuck, you had to hope that, Martin kind of lit them up in the dressing room, and they're going to come out on fire, and that did not happen. And I felt like Aberdeen had more of the ball to start, and nothing. They had the one big chance that Sinisalo made the really good save on the header from Nisbet, which was huge and refreshing to see your keeper come up with a big sprawling diving save to his left-hand side. Which we haven't seen all season, so that builds confidence. And we talked about that in weeks past. Does that bring your defender, your defensive forward, and everybody on the side down when you see weak goals go in where Casper doesn't even move, and you're I feel like that's got to be
absolutely
bring the defense down.
And in those instances where Schmeichel, the game was on a knife's edge when it happened. So it just, like I said earlier, it's just your tail goes down and it's just, yeah. So I can't see them giving the gloves back to him. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
I hope not. But so that big save, I think, one, kept us in the game because then we're not chasing the draw, which a draw I felt like in this case didn't do us much good at all. So brings on Dyson comes on and Neger comes on around 60 minutes or so, and then Fars comes on a little bit later for Yang, and those guys, a couple of those guys are involved in the winning goal. Paul, how did you see Negron's winner on the 67th minute, which was fitting?
67th, I didn't realize that. Again, just good play. Jamesy Forrest making it's actually quite a little bit similar to what happened at the weekend. It's a good ball. It was a good ball wide, and then Jamesy Forrest had got himself into space, so he had that space there, and then a very intelligent run by Negron, and more importantly, a very polished finish. I think if you look at it, that was not an easy that was not an easy finish. I mean, the ball came right. He let the ball come right across his body, and then simply used his left foot and stuck it in the corner. It was a really sublime finish. And then, of course, the TV. You just have to laugh with the TV angles. Who they're already going on about? Oh, it's offside. Does anyone actually have an angle of it in line with it? Can we just start there, please, instead of to the right or to the left? Oh no, it's definitely offside. No, it's not, because look at the angle that you're looking at it, and as it turned out, it was not. And again, we're on some kind of record here. Yet again, Scottish football VAR made a great decision, a correct decision. Which in itself, but it was a very intelligent run, very intelligent finish, and again, I hope Dyson, who was very close to the play, actually got to see how someone can actually finish, because it was a great view of that. So maybe I can go back and work on that a little bit, because that would be, at least he didn't touch the ball. Dyson made a great contribution. Dyson made a great contribution in front of goal by not touching the ball, and we appreciate that.
But and then to go back to like in the build up to that goal, Hatate played a great ball from the other side back to the middle. I think I'm trying to think who it went to in the middle, who then played Forrest in before the little cross to Negrin. So again, seeing Hatate involved he was involved in the first goal on Sunday against.
I thought he did great. I thought he did a very solid game tonight. And again, when we were talking about in the past where he didn't seem to be given much, tonight he really did run himself around and got and threw himself about and sprayed some good passes. So, if we're just taking it game to game, he's done well tonight. Again,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So then after the goal, it seems like we're going to see the game out pretty comfortably. Like we have the ball for seemingly like the next 15, 20 minutes straight. But then start to get a little shaky towards the end. And I'll throw the one play, and all I've done tonight is praise Rio Hatate, but the one in the box where the ball's just it's banging around off of everybody, like a bunch of headers. Do you remember this play, Bobby? I'll let you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my heart.
Everyone did.
My heart in my throat and just switch places. I'm just waiting for him. Oh, wait, good. Yeah, no. I was with you, brother. I was with you.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about players going down too easily. I'm not going to say that Aberdeen player didn't, and he should have.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if he went down, I can 100% see a penalty.
That was a penalty. Yeah. Well, they always say, Sean, about make the referee make a decision, right?
Yeah.
They always say that, right?
I mean, and God forbid, it's Scotland, so God forbid you leave it in their hands.
Exactly. But that was, it was just Hatate stayed out. He just held the leg. But that guy could have played that a lot more. And bless him, he stayed up. He was honest.
You know why he did it? Former Celtic youth player. Mitchell Frame. I think it was Frame, the guy. He played a couple.
Oh, okay.
He played one game for us.
All right.
I didn't catch that.
We're not taught to dive, I guess. Like the rest of
the unseen hand.
Yes, exactly. So, but that play, I mean, and it almost, not that it would just remind you a little bit of the Hatate's penalty. I think it was in Europe. I don't remember which game it was. And that one would almost remind you of Scales' penalty too, where he turned around, didn't see the guy behind him, and kicked him. I don't think he realized Frame was that close to the ball when he dove into it. He just dove into it way too early, and it could have been really bad. And if there was a penalty there, that would have been a nightmare. Because, like I said before, I have no faith in a Celtic keeper.
Well, they were just getting so much joy on breakaways down the right hand side, Araujo, And it's just his, he loves getting up, he loves doing his thing, but his covering back is not the best. Everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, but that's definitely where they were getting their, anytime they were breaking away. And I never really felt they were. It was a strange game again. I didn't really ever feel that in any way Aberdeen were really dominating us, or you felt, oh yeah, they're really lethal in attack or anything like that. But they just had a few breakaways, and all the breakaways seemed to be coming on their left.
But Paul, the problem is that you say that the problem is it's been us all year, is you had that moment of switch off, and then you know what I mean. Yeah, so Aberdeen could do it, but we had that moment of switch off that we saw it in the Hibs game. How many times we saw it the first half of Sunday?
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, so in the end, it's 3 points away at Pittodrie, which we have a pretty good record there, but it still always seems like it can be a tough place to win. Sometimes you don't know. Like I remember the one, I think it was 2 years ago when we played them there. I think it was a midweek game again, and it was like one of those games where it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and like keeper, like you couldn't even kick the ball in the air; it would blow back at you. And then I think Hatate got a winner in like the 83rd minute, something like that. So like that's kind of like the game I was expecting today. So when we got the early goal, I was like, all right, it's going to be a 4 or 5-0. And that was silly to think that, because we haven't done that all season.
Brother, I don't remember that.
But a long time since we had one of those.
Yeah, so I'll throw up, and this is true, Jack's comment here. Hearts are scraping wins too. So
yeah,
it's a competitive.
Pressure's on. I mean, the pressure's getting on. I mean, Mother will win their game. Mother will have the game in hand. They win their game in hand, and they are, they're right there too. And really, Motherwell are playing with free abandon. They get no pressure, right? There's three teams with all the pressure right now, and Hearts are. That's going to be a vice-like pressure coming to them now, and I'm sure our team will be pleased after we win this weekend that there'll be a nice week off to do normal training and not have everything else and get ready for the run.
Nothing in Europe.
Play a home game.
Yeah. Rest up. It'll be nice.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, before we move on to the Hun match, let me just play a quick sponsor clip, and then we'll go.
Every life is full of stories, and we all know someone whose story should be preserved. That's what an audio memoir is, a record of you or your loved one's life stories, family anecdotes, and poignant memories. We will talk online and then edit the recordings into episodes, accompanied by family photos and contemporaneous images of the past, creating an enduring audio-visual experience. We all know someone who deserves an audio memoir.
Yeah, so thanks to Audio Memoir for sponsoring the channel. It's helps us keep things going on here. So we thank them. So let's move on to the Hun match this weekend. It's funny that we spent like a half hour talking about Aberdeen. So, I mean, I would say I wanted to mention Stuttgart really quick, other than my only thought about the Stuttgart match last week was just to build up momentum going into the weekend. So winning away in Europe, I was like, this is something that can kind of get us rolling versus the Huns. And then from the way we played in the first half, I think you can see that did not happen. But let me start first things first by, again, I'll throw up the lineup from the weekend. Bobby, what did you think when you saw the lineup for the weekend? Any surprises on Sunday?
Chamberlain. I was surprised by Chamberlain.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't. I don't know. But they're all empty shirts right now, like Paul said. I don't know. I'm not enthusiastic about any of them, to be honest. I don't know.
Well, on Sunday there was definitely a lot of empty shirts. I don't know if I call Oxlade-Chamberlain an empty shirt as much as I think he just the pace of the game was just too much for him. I think he just came into it thinking he'd have more time to do things, and he didn't, and he just got overrun. Like every time he got the ball, it was like
every time.
Yeah, every time. And you can see the class in his game other weeks, but he just wasn't ready for that. I don't know. So,
well, that's a pressure cooker to start game. Not being fully up to speed, because I don't think he's been fully up to speed since he got to Celtic. I mean, he's looked good in spurts or whatever, but to start a match at Ibrox, man, that's a different animal. So I mean, it's like Bobby said, it's just tough. That was probably the one for me too. That I'm like, ooh, okay. Like I feel like he would be more effective off the bench, but
yes.
In my mind, I did think he would start him, but obviously I was wrong, and I think Martin was wrong in that. But how about you, Paul? Any surprises in that lineup on Sunday?
No, but just about the same thing. Last name on the sheet, the empty shirt. We know, but. No, I didn't. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain was the big one, just because those games are always won or lost in midfield.
Yeah,
they just always are. So whatever midfield's running the show is the one that ultimately wins the game. And I was surprised, just a little bit surprised. But again, I don't know. Nothing surprises me this season at all. But certainly. It was showing that it was Martin O'Neill doesn't tend to make a lot of major missteps when it comes to lineups and things, and that was a cataclysmic one. It could have been a cataclysmic one, and but like the man he is, hey, that's why he's the legend that he is. They recovered, right? They made the changes, and it ended up. It was the other side that were questioning why they didn't make, they were outplayed again. They were outsmarted again in the second half. And that was, it was very straight. It was just a very, very weird start, and could have been a lot worse by halftime. Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been, yeah. So I'll go to you, Chris, first. Again, Hunn's big striker signing this year has pretty much done nothing outside of against us and Hearts. So I think he has 9 goals on the season. 8 of them are against Hearts and us, 4 each. So he's had 2 in the last 2 games each for
bicycle kick.
Yeah. I had my head down when it happened, and I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like, then I see the replay after. I'm like, whoa, fuck! Like, on the goal for the first Hun goal.
I mean, it's hard not to watch that and be like, no, that was a hell of a. I mean, that was spectacular. So, I don't think there was any saving that, but I mean. As soon as the first goal went in, though, I was like, man, we're in a dogfight now. This is going to get bad, and I mean, we did not get off the bus well, or something, because I mean, we came out flat. The passing looked weak. I feel like we had a little bit of a European hangover, a little bit. Maybe a bit leggy, maybe a bit just kind of sluggish. We had mentioned earlier, and we've mentioned it pretty much all season, but like McGregor I feel like he's lost a step. In that first half, I don't remember him making any forward passes with any enthusiasm, if that's the right way to say it. I mean, and it's bewildering at times because you've seen them do well for however many years he's been captain and even before then, and to watch that kind of performance on Sunday at that first half, man, that was brutal to watch.
It was, yeah. I mean, 100%. And to go back to Paul's point, like these games are always won in the midfield, and I feel like a lot of times lately we do get bossed in our midfield, and we did in the first half. Raskan was probably the best player outside. I mean, Trimidi obviously like getting the 2 goals, but just again, our midfield just getting overrun, and it kills us. So yeah, I was having the same feeling like I'm like, gosh, this is gonna be a long game. Paul, for the second goal for the Huns, I think like you could chalk it down to a little bit. I think it was Raskan put in the little cross, and Murray misplayed it and just kind of bounced over the top.
It was like it was a little 5-a-side goal. Really, is what it was. It's a little 5-a-side goal.
Yeah.
Little futsal goal is what it was. I mean, embarrassing for our defense, but that's the best way to describe it. That's what it was.
Yeah, another really great goal though by Trimidi. He just to be able to put it get in front of Araujo, to put it back in front of him, to kind of I think he's outside of his right foot past Sinisalo. Very deft touch on that one. You
mean a striker knowing what the goal is? I know we haven't seen that for a while. So
two goals from
you're
a striker,
breaking it down like it's some foreign object.
But it is though. It really is true. You laugh.
Really
If you don't laugh, brother, you'll cry.
I know.
Because it's a goddamn truth.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, the Huns have been all over him because he probably hasn't scored a lot outside of us. I think he had a hat trick versus Hearts in one game, but so yeah, 2 great goals, and for Murray, miss kick, and we probably won't talk about him outside of this, so I'll mention it. Outside of that, I think he was, and it's tough to say outside of that because it was a big play, but he was really, really good, in winning almost every header, particularly in the second half. I think it said he won 17 or 18 out of 20 duels.
I saw that as well.
So that's particularly with Trusty out, and that was a big concern I know going into it. I think he put himself forward well, and then so it was frustrating to see him get hurt in warm-ups today, because I do think he's a guy who could probably benefit from a run of games, because he's a guy who gets thrown into the fire, I feel like, and he'll play in Europe and then have an error, and then he played in the Hearts game at Tynecastle this year, had an error, but maybe a run of games against some of the lower what is a lower side in Scotland? We've struggled against everybody this year, but just something like that I think could have boost the guy's confidence a little bit. So I was not happy when I saw him get hurt today, because I was he's going to get this game probably today, and then Trusty's still got another game out on suspension, so maybe play. I think the next game will probably be Motherwell. I think is next
and that's another
big game.
At least it's at home, but that's a seriously big game.
Yeah. So we go into halftime down 2-0. Bobby, you said you were beforehand. You were almost left the pub that morning.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people did.
I didn't, brother, but I didn't see any way back, and frankly, I saw it getting worse. But I was surprised, to say the least. And that's the one thing going forward, man. We do have a fight in us, but I sure as hell didn't see it Sunday. After that, at halftime, it's just it was depressing, and the way we lost the goals, and you know, what do you say? I don't know. Just it was tough to watch.
Yeah.
But just as enjoyable, and you know, your heart's going 100 miles an hour the second half, because we got our tails up, and we looked like a different team, and you know, you wonder what was said and what was done at halftime. I mean, we made the great thing is I think the substitutions he got really right. The substitutions were, I mean, the impact those two guys made in the second half certainly contributed.
Yep.
So
he threw him on right away from the jump.
Yeah.
Like didn't wait.
Yeah.
So it was Hatate for Oxlade-Chamberlain and Tenecti for Adamu, who Adamu was as invisible. As invisible as Shvanchara is. A lot of not a lot, because he hasn't been here a lot, but he was completely invisible, and just the way we're playing, like we're trying to use those two guys as kind of target strikers, and I don't think either of them know that guy, and it makes them more invisible. So Hatate comes on, and this has been my one show all season where I'm praising him constantly, and he really did make out of anybody, and at the end of the day, for me, he would have been my man of the match. Made a huge difference in just building up everything, particularly in the midfield, like where we got overrun in the first half. Like he was like spreading the ball around and getting our attack started, like dropping really deep to get balls, and then like being able to kind of switch sides of the field and get things rolling. So I mean, for him, that was. And I'll take you to the first goal we scored from Tierney. Hatate gets the ball in the wing, and I think he finds a little space to pass to McGregor, who little tap pass to Nygren, and then Nygren, great chip little cross, not a
just like your golf game, yard? Johnny.
Yeah,
just like your golf game, buddy.
I have no golf game. So, Chris, thoughts on the goal? Like,
it was well worked. Without, you were saying that he prays on Rio, and I mean the second half when he comes on, I mean he looked like Rio of old. Just his turns, the way that he's passing, the fluidity of it. That's something. You watch it for spells at a time, and when the passing is sharp and crisp, there's a fluidity to it that they move well, and I've said this for years that when Rio is invested in a match and he's fully in, he's outstanding when he wants to be. But I feel like he has to kind of commit himself, and he's been in just a terrible slump. But you're both spot on. When Rio comes on, he was a difference maker, especially early on in that second half, leading to this goal, which the goal well worked. There was a lot of space. It was a great ball over. Nygren just sinks it right in the back. I mean, it was perfect. So. I think having Rio play to the level that he's capable of, I don't know what he needs to motivate himself, because it's just Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what's going to happen every time he comes on. So I mean, it's just been crazy like that, in my opinion.
No, yeah, agreed. So, and then I think we scored the goal in like around 55, 56 minutes. So
yeah, then, I think 56.
56. So I guess, Paul, what is your confidence level then at that point? Are we going to get an equalizer, winner, or even past that?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, momentum's an interesting thing. You know, when you watch teams and players individually, you know, you're talking about great midfielders. You know, I was lucky enough to grow up with the maestro, the Paul McStays of the world, and then later on seeing the Paul Lamberts of the world. They don't all have to be called Paul, by the way, to be great players. But the great players, the shoulders are back, their heads are always up, and they run. And when they run, it's almost like a running quarterback. They can see this, they can scan the field, and and when a Tate's on form, he's like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have, and then he visibly shrinks when he's not.
Yes.
When he's not, he visibly shrinks. The shoulders go down, the head goes down. But when he is up.
And by the way, he's not alone in that, though. He's not alone.
No, he's not.
No, but it is all about momentum. And it is interesting when KT scored that. It was a great goal. It was a really great header. You know, he goes to the cut, and it was, you know, and KT himself has had a strange season. I mean, he'll admit that. Just a weird season, right? He comes back, and of course, it's always great to have him back, and he is Mr. Celtic and amazing. And again, so many people were pointing fingers. Who is, you know, he's another one of our players that Arsenal have ruined, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, he took a while to get back in the swing of things, and now he's, you know, I mean, he is now coming into his own and being, and then someone else that now signals when he's done. You know, I guess his socks come down to his ankles. There was only one other player I remember who used to do that all the time was Davy Provan, but that was when he was getting ready to really be brilliant for Celtic as a winger. He would roll his socks down, and then you knew you're in for a fun last 15 minutes. But you could tell when that goal went in, it kind of shook them, because they in their minds they were up 5-0.
Yeah.
And it was only 2, and then it was only 1. And I think it's been said a lot after that game. It was visited by the press and different things. It definitely felt like that is their Achilles. It's like a boxer, right? They take a blow, and suddenly they are dazed. And you know, the great boxers can take blows and just keep moving forward. They can't. They take a count. And it's in that count that we suddenly just found that second wind, and that, I've talked about it before, that expectancy that we were going to carry on and get a result. And it just happened. And it was the clear difference between a team that has underachieved for a number of years and has won next to nothing, and a team that is, albeit not the players, we're talking about team as a whole, as an entity, a team that expects to win, and it was clear, and it was a complete domination at that point. Again, I know you're going to turn on to the penalty. Where our goals are coming from, of course, is another thing. We can have all the expectations in the world, but our goals, we got no clue where the goals are going to come from. Is our biggest issue. And it may still bite us. I have a funny, I don't know why I have a funny feeling that goal difference is going to be an issue. I don't know why I've got that feeling, but anyway, carry on. I did feel that once that goal went in, I just felt, there's only one team going to score again, and it's certainly not going to be the other.
Yeah, it took us a little longer than I would have hoped to do that, to get the equalizer, but and honestly, like you said, we did take control of the game considerably. Weren't creating a ton of chances, like when you especially good chances. I'd throw in like the Luke McCallum's one.
Yes.
We get that once when I don't remember what minute that was on, but that was one where I was like, "Fuck, is that our last chance?" You know, like, and so then thankfully the like Dyson had a header right in front. If he just would have put it to either side, either corner, it's a goal. Butland saved it and said it's right down Butland's gut. but then in the end, again, like you said, and this, maybe it is like that championship mentality. And we said who's creating that? Is it's McGregor and Scales, but Forrest comes on and beat, I forget who he beat to get to the byline, another, and I can't think who it was, but again, like just a great little dink cross, like that gets to the byline, dink cross, Dyson's right in front, and I think that probably would have been Dyson's first goal in 12 or 13 games if it didn't hit Sterling's hand. And it's funny, like there was no reaction to that live. Like none of the players put their arms up that they saw it go off of Sterling's arm, you know, and then and I didn't see it. And then once it goes out in the stoppage, and they're like, oh, they're looking at it, and then the first replay they show, I'm like, oh, that's a penalty. It's
and you can just see Burton's brain working, trying everything humanly possible within himself to find a way out for Rangers on this one. And then because you know everything's against the run of play, you really don't. If you see that, like you said, the players, the reaction, the ball goes out, and then they go back, and we're all watching the same thing. And is that a? Oh, yeah. Then you see the replay. Oh, that's a penalty. But you could see that out. You could just see that bastard's brain working when he goes over. He's looking for a way out, man, and it couldn't happen. You just know he wasn't going to get his pint at the lodge tonight because there's no way out of that fucking situation.
Yeah, there's no way that had to be a red card.
But he tried, brother. He gave it a long look.
Yeah, you hope he was looking for something else, like a foul in the build-up or something against Celtic or whatever it might be. But yeah, that was a penalty all day. And then just quick aside, because we didn't talk about it, the end of the Aberdeen game today, penalty on that little cross on the guy's arm is a little bit out. For me, I thought it was a penalty I don't know if you remember the play today, right at the end.
Yeah, I again, it was one of those. I didn't see it as a. I mean, it could have been. It's been given against Celtic earlier this year.
Yeah.
So if his name was Scales, it would have been given against him.
Yeah.
It seems as though it's always pure Scales. That always, every time his arm is out, it seems it doesn't matter where his arm is out. So I didn't think they were going to give it.
I didn't think they were going to give it. But for me, and like you said, Paul, I think that has been a penalty a lot of times against us and in Scotland in general. I think they tend to give that. The announcer's like, oh, his arm's by his side. But his arm was by his side, but it was outside of his body and making himself bigger. So for me, and there was plenty of distance between the guys, between the cross and the defender. So I don't know.
Y'all were talking about it earlier too. Is just like what the reaction was. If there was a reaction more from everybody, like, hey, this has happened, like, you go and review it. They would, maybe go back and look at it a little bit closer to begin with. But they wouldn't. I didn't. I'm kind of like you. I could see how it could be, but I don't think it would have. I mean, it was a little soft in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I feel like for me, like I am of any Celtic fan, I am very. I give a little more credence to the referees in Scotland. I think they suck. I don't think there's as much of a bias against us. I do think there.
Oh, I sure as hell do.
I know you do. I know everybody does. I think there is. I don't think it's as bad as it gets played on. So I got in so many. There was a play in. I don't remember when it happened. There was a play in the.
Sean, could you imagine for a moment? Sean.
Yes.
That a referee say, okay, let's do Chris here for Chris. George is playing what? Tennessee. What's the big rival? Tennessee or Florida?
Florida would be the big
rival. George is playing Florida, right? Okay. The week before the game, The referee of the damn game is at a Florida bar.
Right.
There's
No, I know
pictures
that.
taken of him.
Yeah. No,
People buying him drinks. They calling him Joe Smith Loyal. That's what happens here. So there's no one can tell me that there's something not going on.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But so that's why I say me saying.
I mean,
I
come
think
on.
that was a penalty. I thought that was a penalty today, and so I was, but I'm not surprised that they didn't give it at the same time.
Nick,
aside.
Walsh is a bad referee, and he couldn't be ours to go run to the end of the byline to go look at a shadow. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't think there's any good referees in Scotland, so I think they're just not very strong officials. But like it's a shame the guys we get every time. Sometimes we'll get guys who you never see. You don't see like.
Isn't there
Nick Walsh?
Boys, isn't there a derby in the world? Is it in Spain where they bring in foreign referees? I'm trying to.
I don't know.
They've talked about that. They talked about that at one point.
They talked about it forever in Scotland, and it went away. But I think there's somewhere where it was they bring in foreign referees, and for some reason I think it's Spain, but I could be way off base. But
yeah, so. But I'm sorry, I did a little diversion there into a penalty.
Brought in MLS. If you brought in MLS referees, there'd be like 3 players left on the field.
Yeah.
So back to the Hun game. The penalty is given, and it had to be. There was no way the Beaton could decide any other way for me. So Hatate gets the ball to take the.
So what would have happened if that ball? What would have happened if it had gone off his arm and gone in the goal, Mr. Referee, John? What would have happened if the ball had gone off his arm and gone in goal, not hit Butland, but actually gone in the goal? Would that have been a goal?
Yeah, it would have been a goal. It would just be like playing advantage.
Really?
Well, in that case, because they didn't blow the whistle for the penalty. The VAR got the penalty anyway.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, but I mean, I guess technically, if a referee mistakenly blew the whistle like immediately, before the ball.
Yeah, whistle. Yeah. I just wanted to
probably a good referee would let it play out, and if the ball went in the goal, it's a goal. So. But that's a good point.
what would have happened is they would have given Neil Lennon a 3-game ban is what would have happened normally.
Yeah. So, but I know for me, I have no angles. I have a little bit of confidence in taking a penalty. Outside of that, Hatate no, and for me, I almost wanted McGregor to step up and take it, just because I feel like that's the captain's job in that spot too. I think that pressure was almost too much for Rio. I don't think he's built for that, and so he misses the penalty. Gets the follow-up. Butler makes the second save was ridiculous, more ridiculous than his penalty save, but then it just dribbles off to the side, and Rio's able to just crash it in.
Well, if I'm Butland, I'm retiring after that. I'm like, I can't do any more than this, and nobody's here to help me.
Yeah,
and that was unbelievable. And that also said a lot about their mentality a little bit. So say what you like about Maeda and Hatate, they were the first ones there.
Yeah,
for sure. Maybe I've not been watching close enough. It is one of the first times I've seen a goalkeeper stand behind the line the way Butland did. I didn't
notice that.
Is that a new thing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice that.
I haven't noticed other guys do that, but yeah, I mean, I know that's legal to do.
That's legal, so you can stand behind the line and then come forward, because then you're not crossing the line. Is that what the deal is?
As long as both of your feet are behind the line when the penalty is taken, you're.
Yeah, he was like considerably behind the line, and I think that that would throw a lot of people. So I just wondered if that, and because his record, to be fair, I think he's got some ridiculous record. I think he's saved almost 80% of the penalties he's faced this year. It's some ridiculous record.
Yeah, I think probably by the time that Rio took the penalty, he was on the line. I think, but like he started a good.
Are you sure? I mean, really, I was, because he was markedly behind. He was like in the goal. It was very strange.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that would put you at a disadvantage to be behind. It cuts down your angle of how far you can get out if you're behind the line, So like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess it's a strategy. And like, again,
does it give you more leverage? Like if you're like
running out,
pushing if you're sort of taking a step forward, does it give you more leverage before the kick is anyway?
Also, it might just throw a guy like Hatate off, who's not a usual penalty.
No, I mean, a penalty went to the car. I wouldn't say the penalty was that. It wasn't. It was soft. I always hate these soft plays. Just smack the ball, smack it.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was so.
I was watching from behind the couch, so
didn't even see it.
I saw when he kicked it, but like the build up to it, man. I like his fingers.
I just had another look at it, and he is considerably inside.
Yeah, I told you.
I really didn't notice that.
I told you. I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like it. I've never. Just watch it again. I mean, he may as well be holding onto the net back there. I mean,
he's probably roughly in the middle of the goal almost.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well,
that's crazy.
So, but I know for me, like that once Rio finally scored, and it's a great reaction from the Celtic crowd too. Like I loved all the videos of the fan reaction, and it was just perfect too with the dynamic of seeing it from the Celtic fan side, and you see the Hun crowd cheer, and then big cheer from the Celtic. Like it was just.
I'll wait till you see this weekend where we finally get that stand back again. Be great.
Is that they're back?
The whole 75.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'll throw up this comment. Roll on Sunday, 75.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Good timing.
I know. For me, that was one of my bigger celebrated goals in my house. My kid was down in my basement. I'm watching upstairs in my living room, and he's like, I thought the house was crashing down because I was jumping up and down right on top of him. And again, my new dog is experiencing the Celtics, her first Celtics season, so she's learning as she goes. But so 2-2 in the end feels more like a win for us than them, but. And I think that's what I titled the show. It's not over yet, and it kind of did. It just kept us in the hunt. Like I think if we dropped all 3 points in that one, it would have been a lot tougher to come back from in this league. So I don't know, Bobby. What's your thoughts? Like where that puts us in the league, and after today too, I guess. Down 5 points to Hearts.
Yeah.
A point, I think, on Rangers.
Yeah, I think one thing we're also missing is how terrible Rangers are. They're horrible. I mean, horrible. And these guys I don't know when Strickland's coming back. I'm sure Shanklin's coming back. I think I told you guys, I don't know if we have less points. We have less points than we did the COVID year. It's a very strange year. I wouldn't be surprised if we win the damn league by 10 points or we lose it by 10 points. I don't know. It's a bizarre, but one of the strangest times to be a Celtic supporter I can think of. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight. In a normal year, it shouldn't even been close. I mean, we shouldn't. We'd be scraping for third, which I guess we are, but we'd be scraping for third right now.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at, brother. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence anymore. We do fight. I mean, you guys. I think Paul. There's something to be said for guys you've been there before, and we have guys that have been there before. but I don't know, Sean. I really don't. I don't know.
I don't think anybody does at this point. Paul, how about you? Just how's the rest of the season play out? Where do you feel we stand right now?
I know where we stand. We're second, lads. Let's celebrate that. I know exactly where we are. Look at the table. Well, come on. We're second for the first time in a while. That's exciting. So, I mean, in this this cardiac Celtic that we have, cardiac group, who knows? I think one of the comments earlier mentioned about Motherwell. Motherwell are going to be a big part of the who determines who wins the league. Now they may not win it themselves, but they will certainly have a big say in who does. I think Motherwell will play some great football. They're a solid, big team, and they're going to take points off people consistently. Hearts have shown that they can grind out victories with not their full squad. That is the sign of teams that do end up near the or at the top of the table.
Yeah.
They deserve to be where they are right now, no question. Absolutely,
they're definitely there on merit. Yeah,
absolutely there on merit. That now the fun begins, right? And let's not forget that yes, we've got Motherwell at home here, but after that split, we have some big, our games against Hearts after the split is at Celtic Park. Our games against the Huns is at Celtic Park, right? So we have a lot, we got a lot of the home games. So, a lot of it, but again, the way, I tell you that, it's just like the team sheet that Martin O'Neill puts out every game. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be and who the empty shirt will be this game? Because it just there has not been enough consistency with anyone to determine what the end result will be. But all I can say with any certainty is that tonight, see you fine folks, we are second, and that's a good thing. And from where we go from there,
who knows?
Who the hell knows?
Here's a good one. Only positive we have against Motherwell is Stephen Welsh.
That's right.
Stephen Welsh can't play.
That's true. It's true.
And he's done well for them. So
he's done very well. Very well.
Chris, how about you? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's the same as Paul and Bobby have already said. Is who knows what's really going to happen? But this is the time of the year that if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and if you're not, you're not. It's kind of put up or shut up kind of time, and I always, I know I'm going to make a dumb American football reference, but if you think about it in terms of like Kirby Smart, and I know Bobby, Lou Holtz passed away, so I want to pass on. For Notre Dame.
I just saw that in the comments. I didn't.
He was a wonderful man and an amazing football coach. But
I met him once, Chris.
Yeah, he had given a speech that I had heard one time, and it just his outlook on life was remarkable, and just my condolences to everybody at Notre Dame that knew and loved him. So, but in that same vein, my current coach Kirby Smart at the University of Georgia, one of his things is that you don't play to all the other things that are going on further down the road. The only thing that you can do is prepare for the next game, right? So in that respect, our next match is a cup match at Ibrox. Anything past that happens after that, right? And the only thing that you can do is the thing that you can do. And the thing that we can do is win on Sunday. After that, it was at Motherwell we play after that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's take care of Motherwell at home.
Yep.
And if you go through that, that's a champion's kind of mentality, is that you become blind to all the distractions, the things that are going to take away from your season, the things that are going to distract you from your next thing that you can do. So you just do one match at a time, one game at a time. The next 10 minutes are going to be pressing, and you just carry that mentality. I got a train coming. You just carry that mentality and ride it out and just see where it takes you. I'm going to mute myself now.
That's all right. Yeah, the train goes on for a while. So, it is. I mean, as much as I reference my one friend here who I'm cultivating as a Celtic fan. He's a Celtic newbie, and is one reason for not being able to get hardcore into Celtic is because he thinks it's too easy for us every year, and he's probably been a fan for like 2 years or 3 years or whatever. So I think I'm seeing I don't know if I think I would enjoy it more if it was us playing better in this stretch, but it's with us being shitty, creating this title race kind of sucks, but the title race is fun. And I don't want it to come down to the last day of the season. I think that might actually kill me, because this close season where we're playing shitty and eking out wins, and sometimes we've lost 7 games this season. It's been a tough season. So, but I don't know. I'm down for the title race, and like Chris said, it's just one game at a time, 3 points, or move on in the cup in terms of this weekend versus the Hans at Ibrox. So, but I think last thing I want to talk about, and we talked about it, we didn't really talk about it with Paul at the beginning, but like for the last few weeks, we talked about you guys, and I know, Paul, you're majorly involved in the Celtic Foundation stuff. That I've seen you at all those events in New York, at the foundation gala dinners and the walks, and did you do the South Bend? Yeah, you were in South Bend, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was in Washington D.C. and South Bend.
That's. I think Chris was at the dinner with us that night too. So you might have met him there.
Yeah, we were at that, and then of course we just finished the sleep out.
Yeah,
a couple of weekends ago, and big shout out to Jim and Karen Smith, of course. Really the absolute heartbeat of Lone Star CSC, and everyone else at the club who really did all the work, and also all the other clubs around. All the shout out to everybody. All the clubs came together and supported the event, and we raised, I think right now we're sitting at over $9,000, which is just phenomenal. And again, that's all the clubs that jumped in, and that's what's wonderful about it. It's just wonderful about what our organization.
And that's very much, that's Celtic, isn't it? That's very much Celtic.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's our roots, but it's the beautiful thing about this club.
It is, and all the clubs, as I say, the great thing is all the clubs jumped in. They all supported. We had Sharon Campbell come from the Fenian Boys, even come down and join us for the sleep out, which was just phenomenal. So she physically came down, and we all started it. It was a small little group of us, but everyone came and worked together. Either the next morning making a breakfast, or all the planning and all the incredible work. James O'Sullivan in the far right hand corner there, he's actually the legal counsel for the owners of FC Dallas, the Hunt family, who also, of course, as you may know, in the Kansas City Chiefs as well. So he was able to get the training facility at Toyota Stadium basically for us to use. So we actually we got to sleep on a football field. So there was about 12 empty shirts. So that was cool. And it was great, and we had a lovely time. And of course, more importantly, we raised funds not only for the Celtic Foundation, but for one of the Dallas homeless charities as well. And those funds will be split up accordingly. So there was a lot of local support in there as well. So it was the first one, and hopefully the first of many. But it was really down to, I'd say, the club itself and everyone in the club who just did amazing work in the lead up to it, and the organization, but then all the other clubs and all the individuals coming together and supporting us. And without that, we couldn't have done it. And that's what was so brilliant. And the foundation was great too in terms of promoting that. And then, of course, for those of us that go, and this will be what, Sean, about my fifth time or fifth or sixth year in a row that we've gone to New York for the big foundation event in about 3 weeks. And then I just myself, again, I was telling you all before we came on air that I need to keep myself busy. So apparently I'm going to the Arctic Circle in January for the Arctic walk for the foundation as well.
So I haven't even heard about that.
We're going to the Arctic Circle for 7 days, and apparently it's going to be -30, and I need to find a sauna somewhere. But anyway, that's also going to be a fundraising event too for the foundation. So there's a lot of great things, and as much as our season has been, of course, and it continues to be, there's a lot of unrest behind the scenes, and rightly so in so many cases. The charitable side continues, and everyone is always committed to that, and that's ultimately what Celtic, as you said, Bob, that's ultimately what Celtic are all about. And that's a great thing to see, that there's, like all families, there's always disagreements and there's always this, but the charity part and that just continues and carries on. So all the work that I was a bit player. I happened to go there and I did my part, and it was incredible to be part of. But really, there were so many folks that put it together, and so many great donations came in from all over the Celtic family, all over the world, especially in North American CSEs, which was terrific. So thank you all. I will, again, I'm just chorus line material for Lone Star CSC tonight, but on behalf of everyone at Lone Star CSC, thank you guys, and thank everyone in the Celtic family for supporting what was a really successful event.
Yeah, we've tried to talk about it the last few weeks, like beforehand, and then we just threw up some pictures last week from the event. But yeah, it's the charitable aspect of everything that the club does, and the supporters, I mean, particularly around it, and the foundation, does a great job facilitating a lot of that. And we saw that in Philly a few weeks ago with Tony Hamilton was there.
I talked to Seamus, and I think his name's Seamus. He was in the hotel, and he talked about how receptive the club is to the charitable arm and what it means, and the historical significance of it. But he talked about, and it was really interesting talking to him of how receptive Celtic is, particularly as to the guys in North America.
Yeah, I mean, you see Tony Hamilton shows up to our Fela in Philly almost every year, I feel like. Because I think he knows, and I mean, he's always obviously at all the foundation events over here, in terms of the gala dinners and like all those walks that we did in New York. We did 2 of them, I think, and then. So I do think they recognize it, and I think it's I mean, particularly the gala dinner. The amount of money that is made there it's substantial, like that they pull in. I'm not going this year, and I'm disappointed. I'm going to try and get there next year again, because it's such an amazing event. Like, what's that in 2-3 weeks, Paul? Is that about
3 weeks? Yeah, it's normally the week after St. Paddy's Day. So it's the week after that, and and it's that amazing Cipriani's facility there, and it's Joe Hart's the guest of honor, so that'll be terrific, of course. But yeah, the money that's made that night is unbelievable. But Tony Hamilton and the foundation, if you ever get the chance to just, their presentation and the way they put it forward is so good. It's so good. If just to understand the way they take the history of Celtic, and the way they take everything that's been done over the years, and the tradition and the legend behind it, and they bring it forward and present it to, because there's a lot of people at that event that also have been invited, donors and what have you, and they may not know a lot about it, and they're invited to, and they learn a lot too. But it's incredibly well done, and it's great to be part of. But yeah, that's super. But again, I was like, I guess I've been on both sides. When my mother was still alive, she passed away just a couple of years ago. She went to one of these lunches that they had there. That they had the Lions lunch. She came a few times with her carer. So all the stuff that we've done, there's amazing work that's done there. All these breakfasts and especially around Christmas time and what have you. But the Lions lunches especially are so well done, and the people that come are just treated with such kindness and respect, and they have such a laugh and such fun. And to see it on the other, to see the actual work being done of all this fundraising that we all do, to see how it's then distributed and passed out is terrific. So it's great.
Yeah, I probably lost Chris for a bit, but no, you're 100% right. And I always say, like, I want to get my wife up to Cipriani's, because I think she would appreciate that. Like you said, the presentation of it all, and you're seeing the work that the club does, and all that. Beyond, it's just it's a beautiful event. The facility is unreal. You get entertainment, like the music and entertainment and posts, getting the after party. I'm like sitting in a bar drinking with Chris Sutton. Can't beat that. So I told her, and she's like a big Rod Stewart fan. I know Rod was there the one year. And so I'm like, the next time Rod's going to show up, I'm like, I can sell her on buying a ticket to going up for it. So we'll definitely.
It's good. There's quite a few CSCs going now. In fact, I think Lone Star, we started with just 4 or 5 of us, and now I think we've got a table and a half at the event. And yeah, we all come in from Dallas, and we just put it on the calendar every year. That's kind of our thing. We're able to do that, and it's good. It's great camaraderie, and for an amazing cause, and just good people, good people. But I'm just very, very impressive. And every year it seems to, they surprise us with some other part of the foundation that they've now developed, and they're now helping in some other area. And it's incredibly, but I now it's one of those things that, again, for myself anyway, it's great to attend as regular as possible. So
yeah, so I'm definitely gonna try and get there next year. But before we wrap up, I'll throw up one more comment, and this looks like it's from an Aberdeen fan, and I'll let you guys respond to. Bobby, I'll let you take it. I will say initially I thought it was offsides, but yeah, the line did show it was onside. But so
offside, the hell out of here.
I don't even care if it was offside.
Maybe if there's a
3 points.
maybe it was offside. Hold on, maybe it's offside if you're really exercise around July 12th. That if you exercise, if you take a long walk during that day, maybe it's offsides. But get the hell out of here.
I'm telling you, the way the TV, if you're just watching the TV never had a coverage of it straight on. The only TV coverage was from one side or the other side. They're both saying, well, it has to be offside from what you can see. I'm like, look where your camera angle is. For heaven, good grief.
Oh, it's like that.
I haven't looked. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what that bloated clown Boyd was. I got to go back. I'm going to look.
No, he didn't really complain about it.
No, he didn't. No, he was.
Get out of here! No,
he was. Listen. Oh. Clearly, he was on his meds tonight. He was fine. He was absolutely. He seemed quite actually fairly. Yeah, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything really untoward.
Well, paint me surprised.
Yeah. This is what. Yeah, but we live in strange times. 2 games.
Never a truer word, brother.
Scottish VAR has been accurate, and then Chris Boyd has turned into a pundit for at least 5 minutes. So we live in very, very strange times.
Yeah, I will agree with him that VAR in Scotland is a joke, but they got it right today, so give them credit for that. Though they did miss the handball at the end, though.
What about the handball?
So I guess we'll leave it at that. Before we have any other Aberdeen or Hun fans jumping in here at the end, we don't want any of that. But thanks, Paul, for coming on and talking about the foundation sleep out, and we'll get you on again and try to get Jim and Karen on too.
Get the important people on next time, as you say.
You're just as important as them. Don't sell yourself short. And thanks, Bob.
And he's got me on, pal, so it's a low bar.
Bobby's always welcome, obviously. So thanks for coming on.
You guys do a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we got a few good compliments in our comments tonight. God bless the American Celts. True. And Chris, I will see you next week. We have to figure out who we're going to get on again next week. I know we're kind of up in the air. So
this is on Sunday,
as always, right?
Yeah.
Sean, I'm telling you, knock on the door of there's a lot of the guys up in Cleveland. You got to knock on that door, brother.
Oh, yeah. No, we've had Jim on a couple times, but yeah.
You had Jim? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've had on at least
okay.
Times. Yeah, we'll get him.
All right.
Jim's our boy. We'll get him on again. And then check out the other shows on the channel if you can. I'm actually going to be on tomorrow morning with Gavin. Asked me to join. So I'm going to be on with them. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to jump on with them. So I figure I'm not playing basketball at that time, every other day. So I can jump on and talk about the Aberdeen match tomorrow. And so
make sure you mention that penalty.
I definitely will. You know that. For once, I'm complaining about a penalty that everybody else thinks it wasn't. So. But then give a like and subscribe to the channel if you can, just so helps build the channel. And check us out next week on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking about another Hun match in Ibrox with a bigger Celtic fan base there. So hopefully, I'm more confident about this one going into next week. So so cheers, boys. Thanks, and we will see you next week. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.